All right, everyone, now it's time to talk about Gillette and their virtue signaling.
Oh, the Gillette ad. So the Gillette ad.
Gillette, the best a man can get. Or is it?
Apparently it's the worst.
Apparently, Gillette razors hates men.
Gillette, fuck you for being a man.
That's right, evil men. And probably 75 to 90% of the customer base of Gillette.
It's almost as if the people who make products for men hate men.
If you haven't noticed yet that you're messing up Gillette, then it's time that you get a reality check.
They call it a short film because they're a bit pretentious that way. And the short film was directed by a young feminist woman named Kim Gehrig.
So I just saw it myself today. In fact, it sickened and nauseated me to watch it. I'm sure it probably sickened and nauseated you as well.
Now, my comment was that it was sexist.
Gillette is embracing the hashtag #MeToo movement. Ooh, ballsy move, Gillette, in a new digital ad and campaign aimed at castrating men. No, aimed at men. The latest message from an advertiser attempting to change societal norms.
Yeah, society needs this. Men need to learn. It's just a simple ad. It doesn't even harm anybody. Why are people upset?
That's not your fucking job. Your job is to lie to us about your shitty products.
Hey, bro, aren't you selling razors?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You changing the world with your shitty fucking advertiser-based philosophy? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Who fucking greenlit this?
I have a rule that you've heard me say time and time again. When a company decides to enter the culture war, I stop using their products. Gillette, you screwed up. You played the game wrong, and they're going to learn exactly how not to do politics.
You just play a role in shaving my face, not forming my politics. And if changing culture is your priority, perhaps you should reorganize as an activist group instead.
Keep your shit apolitical and let people enjoy their products.
You can't pick out a group and do a commercial condemning them, like in general.
Listen, Gillette, you should have just tried to sell razors and left the social justice warrior nonsense out of it. It's pretty strange to be trying to sell razors to men without showing a single razor in the entire commercial. Even stranger still to be lecturing your customers who are men about how terrible toxic masculinity is.
Toxic masculinity, everyone. God damn it, guys. No one likes men's anymore.
Within 6 seconds, we are introduced to toxic masculinity and the Me Too movement.
Toxic masculinity. God, what a weird time we're living in, where being a man is all of a sudden something toxic.
I wrote this down. Yeah, the ad just tries to paint not only men as evil, like we but all, not only all men, but masculinity itself, as though it's something that needs to be trained out. Masculinity, like everything else, has both positives and negatives.
See, what you idiots call toxic masculinity, we men call surviving in the real fucking world.
What are you talking about with regards to toxic masculinity? First, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There are men that are assholes. There are men that are rapists. There are men that harass women habitually. That doesn't mean, it doesn't have anything to do with masculinity.
Toxic masculinity, 43% of boys are raised by single mothers. 78% of teachers are female. So close to 50% of boys have 100% feminine influence at home and 80% feminine influence at school. Toxic masculinity isn't the problem. The lack of masculinity is.
This is insulting and degrading. And if you can't see why it's insulting and degrading, then I don't even know if there's any way for me to explain it to you. It should be self-evident why this is insulting and degrading.
Oh, I don't really see what's wrong with the ad. They're just saying men shouldn't be jerks. They're not saying that men shouldn't be jerks. They're saying that men are jerks. It's not just that men should be nicer, men should be more polite. Sure, yeah, of course. What they're saying is that men, by their very nature, are awful. They're worse than women. They're just bad people who do bad things.
Yeah, the implication being most men are horrible little bullies, sexual harassers, abusers, etc., etc., and we all have to be saved from ourselves. We're all dreadful people.
Now, the ad says some men do these things, which, think of how insulting that is. So they're showing these really basic, decent things, and they're showing human beings just acting like human beings. And then the ad says, Well, sure, some men already do these things. Some?
It's like every man looks like a misogynist piece of shit. It's such a disturbing commercial. It's like over and over again, men doing douchey shit.
It shames men for bullying.
Is this the best a man can get? We can't hide from it.
Of course, we agree. Like the bullying part, great. Yeah. No, nobody wants to bully.
Of course. Freak. And I don't know. I think that's kind of a universal thing. Bullying. I think everyone gets bullied.
All these comments and people pretending that only men are the problem in this society. Do you even know how awful women can be?
But the people who are pro the Gillette ad, you know, the ad that says we should stop bullying, threatening, harassing, guess what they've been doing to me for the past day or so? That's right.
It shames men for sexual aggression.
It's been going on far too long.
We had to stage this because we couldn't find any archival footage of men harassing women, so we had to invent some.
What are you talking about? I've never seen any comedy like that. I've never, literally have never seen any comedy like that where a guy grabs a woman's butt or pretends to.
Smile, sweetie. Come on.
To say the right thing.
That's a weird fucking shot there, the dude telling the lady to smile a little bit. Well, he is holding a camera, unless you were going for a dramatic shot of the woman trying to, like, look all shitty or something. Smile, okay? It's a weird shot to put in there. It's lacking a lot of context, to be honest.
I don't understand. What is the context here? Maybe I'm part of the problem. I don't get what the issue here is. So they're filming something and he's saying, smile, sweetie. And this guy is like, yeah. Come on, man. What's the context? Are we just gonna assume that what is happening?
Bro, not cool. Not cool.
Not cool, man. Never approach a woman. Not cool, man.
And he says, bro, not cool, not cool. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? It's not cool to talk to a woman that you're interested in? What's the matter with you?
Well, and I like too that it's calling like this person's being accosted when a guy is looking at a girl and sees a pretty girl and starts to. How in the world are you supposed to get a number or ask somebody out if you don't go and talk to them? Right. Yeah. That's not accosting somebody. That's now maybe they're trying to portray it in a different way, but can you imagine, by the way?
There's no context.
So no, I know,
context
absolutely no context.
I mean, we assume he was going to rape.
Oh, of course, yeah, he has to.
Naturally.
Gillette seem to believe that the women involved in their short clips have no social awareness at all, and ignore that a woman might dress in the ways demonstrated specifically to attract attention. It is not the job of men to prevent one another from speaking to women, and it is not appropriate to suggest that women can't take ownership of their own choices or ability to rebuff unwelcome advances. These shorts are particularly perplexing, as it seems that Gillette is suggesting that men should put all of the power of decision-making when it comes to their love lives in the hands of women.
It shames men for demeaning behavior in the workplace.
What I actually think she's trying to say.
Did you actually just make a reference to mansplaining in 2000 and current year? You, the people that sell us extraordinarily overpriced razors, are telling men about mansplaining.
Did you also notice, too, when they showed the guy mansplaining with the woman, that the woman, instead of this positive image of a woman standing up, she just cowered. And Gillette, what happened to women? Like, portraying them as positive.
I'm your Venus. I am silent, your desire.
Oh, wait. Let's go back and see that again, shall we? What does she do? The man is condescending to her, and she says nothing. She says nothing. So is it the activity of men or the passivity of women that is causing these problems? If the women pushed back and said, don't bully my son, or I'm going to go talk to your parents. If the women said, excuse me, I will speak for myself in a meeting, thank you very much. But no, you see, they hold and they're sad and they look down and they're upset and it's so sexist. Oh my God. Please don't expose my daughter to this limp-wristed, dead elephant trunk spinelessness of femininity.
They want women to feel victimized by male dominance and male strength. That's what they want you to feel like.
They're feeding into the main narrative we see now on the left, which is that there are hierarchies of victimhood, and the worst guys in the whole wide world are the straight white men who think that they're men and who behave like men should behave.
It makes perfect sense in that postmodern context we were talking about before, where you cannot let go of the victimhood. You can't let go of it because it's where your power comes from in that game. So you have to, no matter what evidence is presented in the world around you, no matter how different the world is now than it was in the 1950s, you must still, if you adhere to that particular religion, let's call it, you must still maintain that you are the victim. And then you have to find other victims as well. It's kind of people have called it a race to the bottom.
And it shames men for using the, quote, same old excuses, among other things.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
They bring up boys will be boys. They talk about that. They say, the boys will be boys in a derogatory way. Yes, this is one thing I think, of course, boys will be boys.
What happens to your son if you stop letting them be a boy? That whole boys would be boys thing. They're not, if they roughhouse with each other, it isn't like they're grabbing a little girl and roughhousing with her. That you would stop. But two boys, what it does is it strengthens their masculinity. And that's what we need in this world.
They want to reverse that. So boys will be what? Twats? Is that the new slogan? Boys will be bitches.
Boys can't fight each other. Boys can't wrestle with each other.
Again, if you've ever met boys, you know they do that. It's called playing.
So here we have two boys. They're play fighting. Oh no, they're play fighting. Oh no.
Oh, stop wrestling! Oh my god, you're wrestling! Listen here, fuckwits. If you're stopping your kids wrestling, when it looks like these two guys are having a good time, they're wrestling at a family barbecue, they're getting stuck into it, they're doing their WWF moves, he's just landed a fucking choke slam, and old mate's getting ready to tombstone that little motherfucker, maybe give him a rock bottom, I don't know, but they're having a good time, and boys will be boys, and they'll have a good fucking time, they're wrestling. Bloody hell, I used to get on the trampoline with my mates, and I'd choke slam and put them through one cardboard box or something, and I was a fucking hero.
How is two young boys wrestling on the ground a problem? Explain to me how that's toxic. Who is going to serve in the military? If you're afraid to get your knees dirty and fighting in the streets, it ain't nothing wrong with young boys getting into scuffles. Who do you think going to be first responders? If you've been a coward your whole life and you're afraid to get busy if you have to.
It's important for boys to do that. It's important for them to learn their strength and their limitations so they can pull it back.
The boys were wrestling outside as well.
Yes, outside at a barbecue in the grass.
Yes, in the best possible place for you to be. If he's punching him in the face and submitting him and not letting him go and breaking his arm,
next
fine.
to the old glass
Jump
dining
in.
table, sure.
But this understanding and acceptance of male behavioral traits is flatly rejected by feminists as being biological and gender essentialist, as the phrase causes people to construct gender stereotypes, which allows the formation of unconscious biases, which oversimplifies the problem of male behavioral traits and limits the full expression of children. Instead of recognizing that boisterous behavior is a facet of what it is to be a boy, and then a man, feminism classifies it as a dysfunctional form of self-oppression that needs to be cured, and categorizes these expressions as toxic masculinity.
When they come out and stereotype all men as though everyone has to change. No, I don't have to change at all, dude. No, absolutely not. I'm not part of that as a Me Too or something. No, I'm not going to change the way that I behave. I'm comfortable with my own masculinity.
Imagine if you're a sexist, rapist piece of shit, and you see that Gillette commercial, like, damn, I got to switch my game up. I've been too much of a dick. Like, does anybody think that Gillette commercials are somehow or another in any way, shape, or form going to affect culture?
It's bad.
You're selling razors.
It's bad,
That's
bro.
it. It's just a razor.
Here's the thing. Rapists aren't going to be discouraged from raping people because you told them rape was bad. So all this does is insult the intelligence of men who are never going to be sexual abusers or rapists.
Now, the fact that in the past there has been endemic institutionalized sexism against women, and no one denies that. And no one denies the fact that a powerful man who uses his position to intimidate and harass a woman for sexual favors is a creep, is a criminal, is immoral, is unethical. That doesn't mean that we need to have public service announcements advising all men to do better, all men to rise to the occasion, all men to be better versions of themselves.
Nobody wants to be lectured to. We're tired of that.
So sick of that.
Stop it. You don't have your shit together. Nobody has their shit together. And you telling people how to get their shit together in a fucking razor blade ad.
Yeah.
Hey, Gillette, masculine males here. Yeah. Hey, we can both do better, men and women. We have toxic femininity and we have toxic masculinity.
No, toxic femininity is the pink hair dye starts to soak into your brain and cause maybe a hormonal changes, I think.
First time ever.
Is this the best a woman can get?
It is not women's fault that men behave like morons and like pigs.
Is it?
Men are dying at work. Teach boys not to rape. The future is female. Drunk sex is rape.
Guilty until proven innocent.
We can't hide from it. It's been going on far too long.
Ladies, I know we're all trying to do our best, but maybe we could be doing a little better. Whether it's having the financial responsibility to stop spending money we don't have, or trying to control ourselves so we don't molest and rape our young, vulnerable male students, we really need to push ourselves here to strive for more. I mean, what's with us performing so poorly when it comes to mathematical ability and not wanting to work the long hours that our male colleagues do? Kinda seems like we're just being stupid and lazy, you know?
Just notice all of the subtle left-wing social justice warrior aspects to it. Just to begin, one point that not a lot of people are talking about is that with one exception for the first 40 seconds of the ad, all of the bad guys are white guys.
In fact, throughout the whole commercial, 43 males exhibit undesirable behavior. 42 of them are white, with just one black. 7 males exhibit desirable behavior, 5 of whom are black and only 2 white.
Men are bad. We're perverts, we're violent, and we can't fucking control ourselves. But if you want to do one better, white men, you guys are the worst motherfuckers that this planet has ever seen, according to Gillette.
Now, that's not my focus here, but it's so obvious who the stereotypers here are, who the bigots here are. It's the Hollywood folks who made this ad who also were fine with Harvey Weinstein for years. It's Gillette who's the bigot here. There's a racist narrative here, just like there's a misandrist, anti-male narrative here. Let's watch some more.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. There's not a brown face in there. Look at that. Who's the problem? They put them in front of grills, something guys would be doing. You guys think you're being slick? A line of what? They won't have 3 white guys at an anchor desk, 3 white guys in a fucking Budweiser commercial without a person of color. But when it comes to this shit, bullying, toxic masculinity, fucking line them up, 50 of them.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to reach too much here. But you see, corn, I assume some hot dogs down there, all at groin level, all on fire, right? This is castration, penis burning row. No question, no doubt, right? So yeah, this is cooking the junk. This is frying the testicles. And everybody's saying boys will be boys, boys will be boys. But something finally changed. What changed? Ah! Sorry. I really got to warn you when you're going to get Kasparioned.
Change.
Allegations regarding.
Oh yeah, let's shine a little beacon on Anna
I'm fucking better than you.
Kasparian, because she is just the arbiter of how a person should behave well. You know, she represents women really well. That's a nice choice.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure why you would include Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks, a ultra far left propaganda YouTube channel.
Look, I don't care if you're a fan of Anna or not. The point is, she is a polarizing partisan figure of the far left. Naturally, you're gonna have a lot of people who immediately see her and say, whoa, I want nothing to do with this. it can only backfire. What were they thinking?
Ultimately, the company's not going to get any long-term benefit from this. They're setting themselves up. They're assuming that the new social paradigm is one-directional and leans towards progressivism. I see it in the opposite. I see it as at least intermediate term, like decade or 2 decades, going in the opposite direction mainly, abandoning progressivism because it's becoming fascistic, actually.
What's the matter? Don't you want to take life advice from a giant multinational corporation? We could teach you a lot. Well, we did just get caught using child labor, so maybe Gillette isn't the best moral compass. But hey, give it a few years. Maybe one day businesses telling us how to think and how to act will be perfectly normal.
And that's not to mention, and this part is actually serious, they literally uphold the pink tax. That's right, 18 pink disposable razors from Gillette do cost more than 18 blue disposable razors. How did that get by? The mighty corporate progressive activists over there.
Well, of course, in the world of progressivism, no good deed goes unpunished. Gillette is now being targeted with criticism by progressive activists for being sexist because Gillette engages in what is known as the pink tax against women.
Women just want to complain. That's really what this is about.
So yeah, it's just hilarious. Like, you try to appease these fringe progressive activists, and instead of praising you, they turn around and go, "You have a pink tax, though."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a 3-minute ad full of anti-male feminist propaganda. The exact opposite of what I want to hear from the company who sells me something extraordinarily interchangeable.
The ad is one big exercise in associating someone's mistakes with their gender.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every single
I don't know. What topsy-turvy world am I in here? I thought we weren't supposed to do that, but you're absolutely right. Men need to police other men, but that means you need to let them wrestle.
Yes.
You need to let them have some conflict.
Why not focus on something positive instead? A positive example. Showcase men that actually do something good. If you want to have an inspiring message instead of something that says shame on everyone.
And so, if we're going to have messages that seek to uplift us, let us try to have messages that seek to uplift all individuals, believers and atheists, men and women, and all other who don't subscribe to, heteronormative norms. Let's uplift everyone. In the quest to elevate women, let's not pathologize men.